Yeah, I
So
understand. Yeah.
I've been unable to work on that. But this night that I want to work on it, I found it very difficult because I don't even understand the concept of the assignment very well.
Okay.
So that's
Is
why
it
I need a
is
clarification on
it
that.
the three assignments or just one or two?
No, no, no. Assignment three.
Okay, just the third one.
Yes, ma.
Okay. Okay. No problem. I will look into that. So does anybody have any other question? Please ask. I understand the whole light issues have been everywhere and it has really been affecting productivity in terms of deliverables, and that's understand. Okay, Samson, you said same question too. So you don't understand the assignment theory or 1, 2, 3 because it was three assignments that was given. Okay, just assignment three. Okay, somebody was reacting. Yeah, Samuel, please unmute your mic. Say what you want to say. Okay, Samson, you said theory. Yakubi, you said theory. Somewhere your mic is your hands are up rather. Do you want to say something? Or do you
Yes,
have a
exactly.
yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Good evening.
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
Yes, please, I want to recommend something very
Okay.
briefly. Yes, it's in line with the power challenges we are having in the country.
Okay.
So my area is not left out of these power challenges. In fact, it's very serious here. So I suggest maybe at the end of every class, if you can just share the recordings with us for the benefit of those whose power may finish before the end of the class.
Sorry, can you come again? You said if I can share my recordings with
Yes, with some of us whom phone may go off in the course of
yeah, the
the
recording
lecture.
is usually shared at the end of the class. I don't have you not seen the first class recording?
I I am new.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. The recording for day one, the call is being recorded and it's going to be shared after the class. The recording from day one is on the platform.
Okay, so can I have access to the last recording?
Yes, Miss Esther, please, if you're on this call, you can just resend the recording to the group chat.
All right. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. So does anybody have any question? Okay, you guys said assignment three, assignment three. So you people were waiting for us to join this call before you say assignment three, you don't understand it, or what's the issue? Why was it not brought up since on the group chat? It's been over almost a week since I gave the assignment. So if you are finding it difficult or you do not understand any particular points in the assignment, why did you not bring it to? Why did you not ask the question? Or why were you just waiting for the call? Okay. Any other question? Any other questions? Somebody is raising up their hand. I don't know if you've asked your question. Somewhere, have you asked your question or you still want to proceed with your question? Somewhere. Okay, somewhere is not saying anything. So we're going to go into the this. Okay, first of all, I'm going to review the question that about three people are asking about. So let me go to where that assignment theory was written. Sorry, I'm going to my I believe you guys can see my screen. If you can see my screen, please just react. Okay, thank you so much. So this was assignment theory, if I'm correct. I said go to www.nairaland.com, comparing with the laws of UX and what I taught in class, meaning what we went over in the last class, outline each of the laws. I'm going to show you guys a example of what I expect from assignment theory, because what I have been seeing or what I've been reviewing in the link you guys sent is not really what I was expecting in the whole assignment. I don't know if it's because of the time frame, you guys are just rushing to like submit it, or because of the deadline or something like that. So I'm still going to show what I'm expecting. I say outline each of the laws, state if the site is following each of the outline laws, list how the site can be improved with regards to each of the laws. So I believe that site is opened on this platform. So let me share my screen. Let me share that tab inside. So this is the Naira Land website. I believe we can see it. This is the website I said that you guys should go to and compare with the laws of UX. And I attached the laws of UX to the assignments. This site here, let me tap on it. Okay. This site is the site that contains the laws of UX. You can actually see it. So all these, if you click on one, it takes you to it in detail and explain what it's about. You get to read about it. You get to even see other references that you can read on your own and understand what it's all about. So these are all the laws of UX that are on the site. So I said read each of these laws one by one, understand them, then go to Naira Land website. This is Naira Land website. And I said compare and contrast if this website is actually following the law. For example, we go to okay, where's that website again? Sorry. Okay, I'm going to just be switching in between tabs to explain. We go to here. The first one, it says the first law that is showing here is aesthetic usability effect. What does aesthetic usability effect says? Okay, I don't read everything here. So let me just read the summary they gave at this point here. I believe you can see my screen. I'm following what I'm saying. Users often perceive aesthetically pleasing design as design that's more usable. So now you are going to go back to your Naira Land website and you say, okay, first of all, is this website aesthetically pleasing? So your own reasoning or to your own understanding. If it's yes, you write it down and say, okay, yes, the website is aesthetically pleasing. If it's no, you say no, it's not following the law of UX, which is the aesthetically usability effects. So if it's not following that law of UX, how can it be improved? Then you can come and say they can use a better color to make it aesthetically pleasing, to make it beautiful. They can use a better text. You write it down. So that's what I mean. For those of you that do not understand, you go to the next one again. Choice overload. Is it following so and so? You read what the choice overload is talking about. If it's yes, you write it yes. That means you're not going to state any way it can be improved. If it's no, if you say yes, it's following it, that's fine. You're not stating any way it can be improved. If you say no, they are going to state a way it can be improved at the end of the day. So let me go to the, okay, I said I have a written example here of how that law has been followed. I did not plan to share it with people because if I share it with people, it's like I'm giving you guys expo already. So I was like, when I'm on this call reviewing the assignment, that is when it's going to be shared. Okay, I honestly can't find where I positioned it again. But apart from the whole law of UX, is there any other challenge with the assignments? Because I'm still going to be giving another assignment today. And it's 2 assignments. So if you have not completed the previous assignments, the assignments are still going to be piling up. And if you don't do them, you're not going to be able to see the results of what, because these assignments I'm giving you, it gives you the idea or the it gives you that how will I put it now? It helps you know more things that we're going to be doing even as we move on to the class. Because if you don't know the basics or if you don't understand the basics, you're not going to be able to like understand other things that we are going to be looking at. So this actually helps you to understand other basic things that we want to be looking at. So please try and do the assignments. Like I said, another one is going to be given today. That one is even going to be more complex than probably the previous one or the last one. So if you're not practicing it, you're not going to fully understand what it's talking about. Somebody was raising up their hand. Please ask your question. If it's a question you have, please ask. So, okay, I think I've seen when. Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank
Good
you very
evening.
much. Yeah. With regards to your assignment, you talked about if we didn't understand it clearly. Although I faulted myself actually, I should have asked in the group. But you said we should do as it is, what we discussed. So what the problem I had personally, why I couldn't actually get complete grasp of it was that I had already done with the laws we had discussed, like just the
Okay.
because we only talked about few laws, and then I noticed that let's say few moments before the assignment was submitted, you then said that it was all the laws that we were supposed to review. So I don't
Yes.
know. Yes, so that was where my own problem came from, because while reviewing it,
Okay.
some things were actually following it, but like I felt it could be improved. And now again, you are saying that if it is following, there's no need for talking about improvement. So please, I just want to get things clear. Is it that once it's following, there's no need for improvement, we just leave it out, or we can actually still state it? Thank
You
you.
can actually see stated that is left for you, but I did not ask. That was not what I was asking for. It's just the ones that are not following that I was asking for. How can it be improved?
All right, thank you,
Yes,
ma'am.
then I think most people had sorry for the misunderstanding for the question that I wrote. Okay, where is the question again? Oh my god, I'm just sharing multiple tabs. Sorry guys. So okay, the question I said, comparing with the laws of UX and what I taught in class. So what when I mean what I taught in class, and I don't mean only the two ones I taught in class. That was why I attached this website that contains all the laws of UX, so that you guys can go through everything and use everything that is on the site to actually do your assignments. So that's how the assignment goes, or that's how the assignment is meant to be like. So let me show you this part before I go to the statement I wanted to make. So this is an example of what I was expecting in the assignment. I don't know, you see, if I zoom it in or out, which one can you guys see clearly? I believe you guys are seeing what is written on it, right?
You cannot see, just zoom in.
Okay, let me zoom
Zoom
it
in
in
out.
more. Okay, yeah, this is it.
Yeah, this is
So,
it.
so from the website, this is the website. I said use a Google Docs because it's a write up something. You're just going to write. You're not going to start designing anything or sketching anything. The first law, aesthetically usability effects. What does the law say? The website does not follow aesthetically usability effects. According to the law, people tend to believe that things that look better tend to work better, even if they aren't actually effective or efficient. Sorry about the typos. So solution. A better and more visual design should be designed, which would be more attractive and aesthetically pleasing to users. Okay, I think that's one. Okay, let's look at this fifth law. The website does not follow fifth law. Targets are being overcrowded, therefore hitting the wrong target or button can be prone to happen. Solution: do not overcrowd targets. Command buttons should be different from other buttons to ease navigation across the website and be able to carry out the required function or duty. So this is just what I expect from it. This is what I expect and more. I did not say you should just settle for this. You can still actually do more of what you are meant to do. Then let's look at Miller's law. The average person can only keep 7 plus or minus 2 items in their working memory. This does not apply in this website. Solution: when designing or organizing content into smaller chunks to help users process, understand, and memorize easily. So this is what I expect for you to do for that assignment and more. So with that being said and all, I'm still going to give a grace of this assignment, this particular assignment 3. Assignment 1 and 2 has ended. It has ended. It has been closed. For this assignment 3, I'm still going to give a grace from now till on Friday, because we're going to be looking at the assignments together on this live call. That is still one essence of this live call. So we're going to be looking at each assignment that you've done and reviewing them too on the live call. So assignment 3, you still have the grace of now till Friday to submit it, plus other assignments that I'll still be giving you today. I don't know when. The deadline might still be from now till on Friday, but other ones are coming. Don't just think that this is the only assignment you're going to do from now till on Friday. So that's for that. Does anybody have any other questions regarding this assignment 3? I believe assignment 1 and 2 was a work in the park. So for those of us just joining, you should have listened to the recording. I will not be going back to what we've done. What I expect from you is the fact that, oh, you've watched the recording and then you'll be like, in this particular part of when you were watching the recording, you did not understand so and so. So how did this happen and all of that? That's what I expect from those of you that are just joining today's class for the first time. That is why the recording is there. So you can watch it at your own free will, watch it at your own free time, and then go back to it and understand it and all of that. So let's go to what we have to look at for today. So today we are going to be looking at user research and persona. Can you guys hear me, please? Just react, you can hear me clearly. Okay, thank you so much. So we're going to be looking at user research and persona, and under that, we're going to be looking at how conducting user research. This is just like a brief summary. Types, qualitative and quantitative research, methods, interview, survey, etc. Last class we looked at design thinking from our last class. Yes. So I'm going to ask some questions before I even start. Yes, from that our last class to show that you guys are with me before jumping into what we have for today. So I'm going to ask, okay, I have 2 questions here I wanted to ask, but I'm just going to ask just one to see the responses we can get. So in our last class, we talked about design thinking processes. We talked about empathize, we talked about define, ideate, and a lot of design thinking processes. So I just want someone to explain from what they understand from that last class and probably what you've been doing so far based on your own, like working on assignments, looking at products, going into UI/UX design, going into being a designer and all of that. So the question I have here is, how does empathy reduce product failure? Can you guys hear me? Does anybody want to answer? Okay, Sahid, your hands are up. Please go ahead. I think you're the first person hands I saw. Yes, go ahead.
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
So what I will say is, while doing the assignment 3, while going through the Netherlands website, what I noticed was in their design, how they look at the design, there's too much text. Like the text were too much, and that would drain the user. Whenever a new user comes in, see reading a lot of text in the website will easily make the user feel. So if they can, maybe if it can be, the website can be minimized, less text, and maybe sections should be categorized, then I think that will be a process that has to do with empathizing with the user.
Okay. Okay, Sahid, thank you so much for that answer. So I'm just going to take 2 more answers. You don't have to streamline your response to the website, the Netherlands websites. I'm just asking in general. In general, how does empathy reduce product failure? Empathy was one of the things we looked at in our last class under design thinking processes. So in general, that's just what I'm asking. Six stores. Sorry, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name where your hands are up. Can you go
Yes,
ahead
good
and
evening. My
answer?
name is
Good evening.
yes, good evening. Six to not six.
Okay, 6 to. Sorry about that. Good evening.
Yeah, no problem. In the last class, you gave us an instance like difference between sympathy and empathy on that day.
Mm-hmm.
So you said sympathy is pity, and like my own understanding, sympathy is all about pity, and in UI/UX we don't do work based on pity. You get So if you want to design a web, you use empathy. Like put yourself in the person's shoe. Would this thing be suitable for them? Would they like my work? That kind of thing. Because that's what I understood on that day.
Okay, so how does it reduce product failure? That's like the main question I'm asking there now.
So to reduce product failure is when you put yourself in their shoes, then you when you are designing, you ask yourself, would this thing be suitable for the people? Then you design it in the way that when you use it, you like it. I don't know if I'm getting it. I'm just trying.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much for trying. One more
Okay.
person. Roots. Yeah, a female. Go ahead, Roots.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
Okay,
Ah,
so I think empathy, you were like, we should not use emotions when we are designing. We should not put emotions. We should consider the users if it is something they will accept. If you are using your own emotion to create that thing, it will not generate customers, because it is just yourself you are creating something for and not for the end users. So you have to ensure that other people's how will I put it by, like, just ensure that it's not just you're not putting your own emotions alone there. Consider the end users when you are creating. So that, I think that was when you said after your creation, you need to like test run it, 1 2 3 test running and all of that.
Okay, thank you so much. So the last person I'm going to call on, I think Jamal, you raised up your hand much earlier. So hello, Jamal, can you hear me? Okay, since he's not saying anything, I'm seeing a Mohammed. Oh, there are two Mohammed. Which one now am I going to call on? Uba, is it? Sorry if I'm not pronouncing the name correctly. Yeah, Mohammed Uba.
Yes, ma. Yes, it's
Yes.
Mohammed Uba. Yes,
Okay.
what I'm talking about empathy, as the definition says, it is understanding the user. So when you understand what the user are looking for, then you make the software or the application or even the website the way it will suit the users, the way they can use it as a user friendly. So you categorize the software or application the way that it can suit them for work. That's what I understand by the empathy as understanding the user. So, what the software or the application is made for. Then, when you know this is made for so things, then you emphasize on how the users will find it so friendly and so easy to be used.
Okay. Thank you so much, Uba. Thank you so much, everybody, for that response. It showed that you actually followed last class, and I still explained a lot on how empathy can actually come into play. I kept on reiterating or re-emphasizing on the fact that when you are designing as a designer, you are not designing for yourself. You have your target audience or your target user. So anything you want to do should be based off on research. I talked about empathy. So how can you do empathy? You can approve empathizing with your user by doing user research. That is why we are going into this particular user research, because you don't just go to start designing and then you just assume that, oh, okay, I want to design this thing, so let me just go into it, or let me just do it ASAP. So like now, for example, that Nairaland website I gave you guys as assignment, you can say you want to redesign that site, but you cannot just say you want to redesign that site based on you just want to stick with the laws of UX assignments I gave you guys to do, or you just want to stick with the knowledge you have, the theoretical knowledge you have from laws of UX. Oh, because it's not following this particular law, let me just change this one to that one. No, there are people that are actually, they are target users for that website at the end of the day. So if you want to do a redesign or you want to design something similar to that, you have to empathize with the target users, because they will be the ones to use the website. And that's where user research comes into play. So let's go into that. So so I believe I've said majority of what is already written here again. Conducting user research. So user research eliminates guesswork. It involves an actual connection with your users, target markets. You get insights into their world. It helps you understand how users needs and motivation. All of this is just a summary of what I've been saying since. You want to design a website, you want to design a mobile application, you want to design something, you want to redesign something. At the end of the day, as the designer, you are not the target audience, you are not the target users. You have to carry out research to understand your target audience or to understand your target users. Only in situations whereby whereby someone just comes and say, oh, I want to design a product, but I already know the features I want to be in the product. I want the landing page to be like this. I want let there be so and so pages and the rest. Except that, then you know, okay, you're just meant to do the UI design, which is the user interface. But if you have to work as a UI and UX designer in a full-time product from scratch, you are meant to go and do user research and understand your user, understand their pain points, understand their frustrations, understand what they need, understand their motivations, get insight into their world. So that is the essence of user research. And we have various types of user research. We have the qualitative research and we have the quantitative research, just like the name implies. When you hear something is qualitative and then quantitative, just know that one is dealing with quantitative, deals with numbers, data, figures, all of those stuff. Then qualitative deals with direct response. It deals with like, it's just qualitative is in the sense that, oh, you are dealing with the person directly. You're not just working with data. You're not just working with numbers. You're not just working with figures at the end of the day. So that's just like a brief difference from both of them. But I believe we are still seeing my screen, because it's not everything I'm saying that is on the screen, but this is like a guide to what I mean. So qualitative research, this is direct and descriptive. It looks more at how... Wait, someone just said they can't see my screen. Please, can you guys see my screen? Please, if you can see my screen, react. Yes, please. If you are not seeing my screen and you're in that, and you're on the comment section, or you're in the comment section, try leaving the call and rejoining it from your end so you don't miss out, please. Thank you. This is direct and descriptive. It looks more at how people think and feel. It helps you to find users' opinion, problem, reason, motivation. It could take various forms like contextual observation, ethnographic study, interview, field study, and usability testing. The bottom line of it all is that qualitative research deals with how people feel, because you are interacting with them one by one. So at the end of the day, you want to get their problems, you want to know their opinions, you want to know what their motivation is when it comes to a certain product that you are building or that you want to build at the end of the day. So what is qualitative research? Qualitative research is just you going to meet that user, asking them question, and while you're asking them that question, you're taking note of their probably their behavior when they are responding to a particular question. You are seeing how they are reacting, and still you are getting your answer from those questions. Why quantitative research is generally numerical data that can be measured and analyzed. So quantitative research in this case, most times you are not dealing with your user one-on-one. Is it that you just did a survey, like you did a Google form, you just put your questions there and then you sent it out. Probably 1,000 people can respond to it, but you don't even know who those 1,000 people are. You are not seeing them. Most of the data they can put might just be, you don't even know if it's actually accurate or if it's true, or if it's based on what they're actually facing, but most times they just want to answer it because, okay, you are doing a particular survey and people just want to reply and tick all what is there. So you have survey, you have polls, you have questionnaires, you have A/B testing. So those are ways to carry out quantitative research. Quantitative data is used to quantify the opinions and behaviors of users. So you are actually working with data to use and quantify like their opinion, what they think about something. So in summary, or in this thing, qualitative research deals with interviews, observation, while quantitative is more like surveys and then analytics. Because when you do that survey, when you get the survey back, what you deal with is the number or the analytics. You can see that, okay, 200 people or 50 people said they can do this, they can do that, or they like this or that in whatever they are doing. So the goal, what is the goal? Okay, I think I've already said this before. One goal to carry out research at the end of the day is to identify pain points and behavioral patterns. So that's like one of the main goal of your, research when carrying out or when conducting research at the end of the day. So we looked at methods of, so these are practical example of how you can carry out your research. So for your qualitative research, like I made mention, is interview. You go and meet your user, you ask them question one-on-one. It doesn't mean you must see them physically, or there are some that probably you can actually go on a call with them. Probably you are designing or you are working on a product and your target users are not around you. They are not mice, like they are not even around your location at all. So what do? And you want to carry out qualitative research. So most times you can actually go on a call with them, ask them questions. But if that's not the case, you can as well go ahead and do quantitative research. One common way you can actually carry out quantitative research is by sending out forms, Google Forms. You can just create your questionnaires in Google Forms, input them, and then send them out. So if you're asking, so this research now, this research example we have here, for example, let's take, okay, I want to create a food delivery application, or I want to create a food delivery platform, and I want to carry out my research, because at the end of the day, I am not the target audience, but I'm the user at the end of the day. So what can I do? I say I want to go and speak to some people. So these are questions I can ask them. Can you walk me through how you order food? There are some people can say, okay, I've ordered food from online platforms. Some people can say, oh no, I don't order food from. And as they are responding to you, you are taking in their feedback. You are writing down their feedback. You are writing down their feedback. They don't just respond to you and you say, oh yes, I'm listening to everything. I'm listening to them. When you go back, you've forgotten everything they said, and then you are left with nothing. So you are writing down and taking note of their feedback. Can you walk me through how you order food app? You can ask a question like that. What frustrates you the most? They will respond to you. And as you're asking, you're more like interacting with them. You can ask someone, can you walk me through how you order food? The person can say, okay, I order food through a WhatsApp platform. Probably I chat up the food vendor. She sends me price list, and then they send me their price list, and then I place my order. Some people can tell you that no, they don't order food online. It's either they cook their own food. Then you can ask, why is that the case? So it doesn't mean that you must ask all the questions. All the questions you must ask must be tailored to the questions you had written down already. That's one thing about having carrying qualitative research when you're doing interviews. It gives room for more open-ended questions, because you might be asking one question and then the response you get from the user might lead you to asking another question or something like that. But when you're carrying out quantitative research, you're not even seeing who your user are. You've just written your questions on your Google form, and then you just sent it out, or on your questionnaire or whatever platform you use. Probably you printed questions and then you just send it out to people, and then you just have to fill or tick a particular distance. So there's no room for you to ask open-ended question and all of that. The next question you can ask is, what frustrates you the most? Have you ever stopped an order halfway? Why? So these are just some open-ended questions I can ask when carrying out a qualitative research if I want to work on a food application or a food delivery digital application. Then these are some responses you might hear at the end of the day when you ask such open-ended question. Some people can reply with delivery fees show too late, too many steps before checkout. I don't trust the payment page. So most of all these response you get are not response that, oh, when you want to start designing an app, you yourself, you might not even think of it. You might not think that, oh, some people have issue when, like, okay, when they want to pay for something online and there are too many steps before they get to the checkout page, they just get frustrated and leave. Or probably when they want to pay something and they see that the payment platform is not looking like what they want to look, they will start having fear or something, and then that thing makes them leave the product. When you are designing, you might actually not even put that into consideration at the end of the day. You might think, oh, it's just to design one beautiful thing or put one beautiful button at the end of the day. That is why at the end of the day, they say empathize with your user. And how can you empathize with your user? Do research. Because when you put yourself in the shoes of your user by doing research and asking questions, then you're going to get more insight on what is their pain points, what is their frustration, what is their problem for you to actually build your product on. So what you learn, users feel frustrated, confused, distrustful. So from this research now I carried out by asking those interview questions, gotten my insights, I've understood that, oh, if I want to build something like that, what most users have experienced or what they feel they will experience at the end of the day is frustration. That can actually, because if I'm a user and I'm using a platform and I'm experiencing frustration, I will just leave. I cannot come and kill myself for something that I want to use my money on. I will just, if I'm frustrated, I'll just leave it at a point, and then you are losing your user on that platform. If I'm confused, I don't understand what you are saying. They say, oh, yeah, add to cart. I've added to cart. I'm not seeing what is supposed to show next. All those kind of things. If I'm frustrated, I will leave. You yourself as a designer, you might think, oh, you've designed one fine or one beautiful thing and it's looking really good, not knowing that your users are experiencing frustrations. That is why it's good to carry out research. Distrustful. So those are some things that through this particular research I tailored for a food delivery application, I have been able to learn that my users are experiencing at the end of the day. So next slide. Okay, that's like a practical example of qualitative research. So we're going to look at quantitative research. Remember I said there are two types of ways you can actually carry out your user research at the end of the day. You have your qualitative, which you can ask your interviews. Then you have your quantitative research. And one common way you can actually do quantitative research is by using Google Forms. So method, we have surveys. Surveys is still using Google Forms, is still the same thing as doing surveys, like getting metrics, getting data. So you collect data from 100 users, either using a Google form. Okay, I already wrote it down. So based on the question you put there at the end of the day, when you look at the back end of a Google form, I believe most of you are in productivity class or you've heard about Google form. I hope this is not the first time some of us are hearing about it, but if it is, please let me know. So once you collect your data and when you're looking at the back end of it, you see most times you are seeing numbers. You don't get to see, oh, this person is this person is that. What they show you at the back end is that, okay, 75% of individuals clicked this particular thing. Probably you put one question and then you give them options to answer at the end of the day. So you can see that, okay, so 75% clicked this, 40% clicked this, 25% clicked this. So that's what you're working on when you make use of quantitative research. So these were the questions that for qualitative research, these were the questions I asked. Can you walk me through how you order food? What frustrations? Have you ever stopped? And the rest. So probably I went into my Google form now and I asked a question. What frustrates you the most when using or when ordering food? Option. The first option was checkout page, or the first option I put there was when I get to checkout page, I abandon it. The second option was delivery fee is too high, or delivery fees. The third option was checkout takes too long. So at the end of the day, when I send that form out, people are just choosing, they are just clicking. So at the back end, what you're going to see is the statistics, or is the data, or is the analytics. And that's what you're going to work with when it comes to quantitative research. So sample data, average checkout time is 2.5 minutes. Drop-off rates, 65%. Most drop-offs happens at payments stage. So this was still gotten from your research at the end of the day. You can see that, okay, most of the average time it took for someone to actually check out their product was 2.5 minutes, and that's like a very long time or a very long process that can actually make someone to be like, okay, this thing is taking too long. Before you know, something else distracts them and then they leave it. They don't end up checking out what they want to check out. Drop-off rate is 65%. Most drop-off happens at payment stage. So these are data you can actually get from your survey you did in quantitative research. So what you learn, the problem is big and measurable. So from this quantitative research you've done, you've learned that, okay, the problem, like there is actually a problem there, because you can see that the number or the rate of people that abandon, 65% abandon checkouts. You can see that the number that, or the rate of people that abandon checkout is high. So you can say, okay, that is an issue that I'm going to focus on when building my own food mobile application. That is like a major problem people tend to experience. So when I'm building my application or product, I'm going to make sure that the checkout, or people don't usually abandon checkout, or they don't actually just stop out the checkout place. So example, quantitative research, 75% users drop off at checkout. Qualitative, users say delivery fee appear too late. So these are just some example flow of when you carry out a quantitative research and when you carry out a qualitative research at the end of the day. So does anybody have any question from what I've said? This one, I was just talking and everybody was just keeping quiet, or I don't know, were you guys dropping questions in the comment section or something? So does anybody have any question? Okay, I think please just mute your mic. If you have a question, you can raise up your hand. Can somebody's mic is okay? I've muted the person from my end. So please, is there any question? Okay, people are raising up their hand. Said, go ahead.
Thank you. So my question is, what if in the case that we already started building the website, as in we have already completed at least 80% building the website without doing any user research? Is it still too late to go back again and do the user research, or what would be the alternative? What would be the best practice? Thank you.
Okay, I get your question. You've already started building your product without working on user research. No, it's not too late. And that was why, if you were in the last class, we said the design thinking process is an iterative process, meaning that at any point in time, you could actually correct, implement. That is what you mean by iterative. Sorry, you can actually correct, implement. So if you built your product, you can actually do research at any point in time. So if you build your product and the website is there, it's out there, you can do usability testing. Usability testing is still a form of research. I said it here, it was under one of these. Yeah, qualitative research. There is usability testing here. That is still a form of research, and this particular research comes into play when the product is already out there or when the product has been built. What you do is that, okay, you carry the product, you go and give it to people, and then they make use of it. So while they are making use of it, you are actually observing, you are actually watching them and how they are actually interacting with the product. Sometimes some people will make use of it, and while they are making use of it, you can observe that, oh, it's taking them, probably they are on the landing page, and while they are on the landing page, probably the call to action button on the landing page is probably sign up now, buy now, if it's an e-commerce or something, and then it's taking them so long to actually find that particular button on the landing page. You observe that, you take note of it, then you go back to your design board, you go back to you go back to your design board and then make sure that, okay, that particular flow is actually seamless for them. So you can actually do usability testing so that is what you do at the stage that you built your product at the end of the day. So that's for that. I don't know if I answered your question, Sahid. So yes, research is research. You can actually do your research at every point in time of your website. Sometimes you build your product at the end of the day. You can see that, oh, when a user is using it or when they are making use of it, they have to reread the first paragraph or the landing page before they understand the message. That is not a good experience. If I have to like reread it over and over to understand what this site is all about, that is not a good experience. So you can actually still observe that when the product has been built at the end of the day. So that's usability testing. So that is still a way for you to carry out your research at the end of the day. So I believe I answered your question, Sahi. The next person, Hafiz. Happy.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, ma'am. Yeah, my question is from the types of research. It seems
Okay.
like both of this research seem very important, but which do you think is more efficient? Which do you think can get me the best result faster?
Okay. Yeah, I was expecting that question. The one that can get you the best results faster, or that you can get, let me say, a good result or a very more accurate result is qualitative research. But the truth is that most times when you're building a product, you can't actually have access to people or the target users for that particular product to actually carry out qualitative research with. So what you do is just go ahead and do quantitative research, because it's not every time you can meet someone to carry out interview or one-on-one interview with the person and all of that. So you can just go ahead and do quantitative. But the best form of research is qualitative research, because that's one you get to understand. There are some psychology that is involved in it that you get to like, I think that's just it. It has like some psychology that is involved in it that you can actually use to build your products more effectively compared to quantitative research that just deals with data and numbers. So yeah, I hope I answered your question. Any other question? Oh,
Yes, thank you,
nobody's
ma'am. But
asking.
the
Yeah, you're
qualitative
welcome.
the qualitative research, won't it be a little bit limited with
Yes.
because the number of users that you will get for the qualitative research is way lesser than for the quantitative?
Yes, it will be limited because, like I said, it's not everybody that you can actually have access to or get a large number. So what I would just say most times you do is both of them. You can actually do qualitative research, get your data, do your quantitative research, get data. Because when you're doing quantitative research, you can get data for like most times 100 people or 200 self. So you can actually do both of them, because most times, yes, qualitative research is limited at the end of the day, but that is the one you get like one, how will I put it now? How do I want to put this now? Like one response you get from qualitative research can be equals to 10 response you get from quantitative research, or 20 response you get from quantitative research, because at the end of the day, all of that 10 people you are getting or that 20 people, they are literally saying the same thing. Or if you send your form to like 100 people, divide it into two, 50 people can be literally having the same problem or the same pain point. The other 50 can still be having the same problem or the same pain point. So most times it's equal to just probably if you did just one qualitative research or one person. But at the end of the day, if you can do the two, it's effective. Any other question? Some people will not ask their question now. Is when I give assignments 2 weeks later, when you're supposed to submit the assignments, you start asking questions. Please ask your question now. Do not, we are all here to learn. Learning is a process. Even me, I'm learning every day what I don't know. I've still added to the one I know. So please ask your question so you understand better at the end of the day. It's not when I give you assignments, you start cracking your head or you just abandon the assignment because you don't even understand what was happening and you were in the class. Yeah, Christopher, please ask your question.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Yeah, I want to ask a question. I usually see reviews on Google Play Store. Are there examples of
qualitative or quantitative in research?
That's a good question. That's a good question, because if you want to build a particular product, you have similar products already existing on Google Play, so you can just even go there and see their research. I would say that is actually an example of qualitative research. That is actually an example of qualitative research, because most of those people, they've already used the products, they've experienced it, and those are not those are human beings. They've experienced the product, they've used it, they've seen how it is. So most times when they give reviews on Google Play Store, they are sharing how their emotions or how the feelings they had with that particular product, or their opinions at the end of the day. So it's not just data that is there. So I'll say that is an example of qualitative research.
All right, thank you, Mom.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other person? And I did not make mention of that. Thank you so much, Christopher, for that question. If you're actually building a product, a very good way for you to carry out research without starting from scratch is going to your Google Play Store or Apple Store, anyone. If you are building a product or you want to redesign an already existing product, when you go to Google Play Store or wherever you download apps or the rest, you see people that have made use of different applications, and then they give reviews. Those reviews they give, there are some reviews that are not all that positive or top notch. You can build on that reviews to actually implement into your products that you're designing at the end of the day. So that's a very good way to actually do research. Yeah, David, I think that's the last question I'm going to take, so we move on. I'm going to still ask my own question at the end though. Okay, David has dropped his hand. Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Good day, ma'am. Good day, everybody. My question goes like this. If you have your qualitative results from the interviews and observation of your client, and you still go ahead and have a quantitative result, and they both contradict each other, what do you think should be done in that situation? Do you just go for the qualitative result, as said earlier, that's the best form of response to get, or do you go for another survey?
So you're asking if you carried out both research and one is contradicting another.
Yeah. Yes.
That is why you're a designer. That you're actually meant to implement both of them. You don't just say, oh, I want to understand, like, what do you mean by contradicting? Is it that you feel like qualitative, when you carried out the qualitative, the response you are getting, you yourself should just feel like, oh, it's good compared to the response you got from the quantitative? So how is it contradicting each other?
Yeah, like the response you get from the qualitative might be, maybe, yeah, as you said, it's good. It's a response that can really fly. Then the qualitative now gives you an entirely different response to what you want to design. So how do you just go for the qualitative based on the fact that yes, you're a designer, and that's what people will actually go for? Because you said earlier that the quantitative results, to get quantitative research, it has to do with the numerical data, and maybe when you ask GPT on that, it gives you a different analysis from what humans have given you. Not like, I know GPT will give you something similar, but maybe it has a wide margin, sort of, based on your own research. So
Okay.
that's just,
Okay. So in this instance, I think the first thing I would say is, when you are building a product, you're not just the only one involved in the building process of the product. You have other people, except probably, I don't know, it's a startup or it's just your personal project you're doing. But if you are in a working environment, you have stakeholders. Stakeholders are the people that are probably, let's say, the top of the chain of a product. You have your stakeholders, you have your developers, you have your marketers, you have other people you work with. So you can actually have a meeting with your stakeholders or consult your stakeholders and share with them whatever you've gotten at that particular point, and be like, okay, this is the observations or the findings you got from your research, from you being a designer, or from your understanding as a designer. This is what you think is going to actually work better in the forefront or in the future of the product. At the end of the day, you can share it with them and they will be like, okay, yes, this is something that should fly. You can share it with the marketing team. This is actually what is going to still work for that. Marketing team can tell you that, okay, yes, this is something that can actually sell the business or sell the whole, because at the end of the day, when you're building a product, the end goal is to make money, or it's a business. So marketing people can tell you that, okay, yes, this is something that can work. So as a designer, that is still one of your role, to bring up ideas or bring us suggestion and then share with the team. But don't just conclude on your own and be like, okay, since you did this quantitative research, you just feel. That's one thing you should avoid doing. You should just feel, oh, this is going to just work well. So you just make such design decisions based on your own thinking at the end of the day. So you can consult with your team, still consult with your developer, because at the end of the day, you do something and your developer will tell you, no, this particular thing cannot be implemented at the end of the day when it's time to code and all of that. So you still consult with them. So I don't know if I've answered that question.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. So Philip, you are saying they are asking too many questions. This is why this class is here, for you to ask questions. It's going to be bad that I talk for 2 hours plus, and at the end of the day, when this call ends, only one person's understand whatever I said. So that's why they are here to ask questions. Not everybody actually understands or gets something that you must have gotten. So please let them ask questions. So I think that was the last question I'm going to take for that. So we're going to move on. Thank you all so much. So that's that for when it comes to user research. Sorry, I'm trying to go to the next slide. Okay. I think this wasn't. Yeah, so there's an assignment for this particular session, and this is the assignment. I think I'm just going to read through it before I go to the next one I want to talk about. So carry out a user research on a fintech. When I mean fintech, a financial, whatever you are trying to carry out a research to be a financial techno. That is when you hear fintech, you're talking about finance and technology. Fintech, finance and technology, or edutech. So you choose one. I would have shared you guys into groups, like probably 50 people should do fintech, then another 50 should do edutech, but I don't really know how I'm going to do that. So for now, just choose one. Edutech is education, when education meets technology. That is edutech, mobile application. You're carrying out a user research for these two. I'm not saying you're carrying out a user research on an already existing fintech. Like you see, I did not give any website or anything. That last assignment that I gave on UX laws, I attached NITDA-Land and I said, go to this particular NITDA-Land website and do the assignment. This time around, I'm not giving you any particular reference to use. Carry out a user research on a fintech and an edutech mobile application. Write 5 or more open-ended interview questions. I did not say carry out a user research on an already existing one. No. I did not say go and carry out user research on OPay. I did not say go and carry out user research on body points. It's not on an already existing one. From your own, you are carrying out this user research from scratch. You want to build a product. The product is a fintech or an edutech product. Carry out a user research for it. Write 5 or more open-ended interview questions. Ask 5 or more. It should not be only 5. The list can be 5, but it should be more. 5 or more. Ask at least 5 persons. At least. I did not say actually 5 persons. At least 5 persons. Extract your insights. Can be done with either quantitative, or qualitative research, or both. So that's that for that assignment. If you have any questions regarding the assignment, we're going to treat it at the end. So just keep your question for that. And keep on thinking about it. Maybe your question will come up later. So you ask your questions regarding the assignment. That is why I explained it now. So the next thing we're going to look at is user persona. Creating user persona, importance of user persona, developing and using personas in design. Please, if your mic is on, mute it. Thank you. So what is user persona? So now you've carried out your research. You've done your research. You've gotten probably insights on your product or your problem or whatever you're building. So how do you carry out your research? Okay, let me just go. Should I read this? Okay, I'm just going to skim through it so I can go into what I want to explain. These are fictional characters created based on research. They represent different user types who might use a service. Okay, let me slow down here. So user personas are fictional characters you tend to create at the end of the day. I'm going to be going through this quickly because I will have to leave the screen and show you guys what I want to refer to, or leave the slides rather. So these are fictional characters created based on research to represent the different user types who might use a service, product, site, or brand. So when you've carried out your research and finished, you're meant to create a persona. The persona guides you when you're actually making design decisions at the end of the day. So it's your user persona that is going to guide your design decision, guide your thinking process and all of that at the end of the day. Okay, I think I've already said that. So they are essential in the design process as they help designers maintain a focus on the end user, ensuring that the final product is both usable and delightful. So that is what I just said. It helps you in your design process because when you carry out your research and finish, you don't just dump it or you don't just abandon it there. You can create a persona. That persona is going to serve as a guide throughout your design process at the end of the day. So persona translates research into actionable design direction. Instead of designing for everyone, you design for a specific user. Like I said, no matter the product you are designing, no matter what you are selling in this life, your target audience is not everybody. Even though you're able selling long life and prosperity, it's not everybody that will still be your target audience because it's not everybody that wants long life and prosperity. That's just the truth. So whatever you're building for or whatever you're doing, know your target audience or know your target user. And creating a persona actually helps you to focus on that specific target audience or user at the end of the day so that you know, oh, this is not just for yes, who are the everyone? You are saying everyone, but who are the everyone? Write them down or take note of them. So a persona what does a persona include? It includes goals, define what the person aims to achieve and what drives their behavior. This helps. Okay, I'm not going to be reading everything. So it includes goals. So you have a section where you impute your goal that defines the what the person is what the person aims to achieve or what the persona aims to achieve. Pain points, identify the obstacles the persona faces and how the product can address those issues. Behavior, describe the persona's habits, preferences, and technology usage. Demographic information, so you include age, gender, occupation, location to create a realistic and relatable persona. So next slide. So this is just insights I took down that we're going to use to create a persona on Discord. So developing and using persona in design. So for example, now we interviewed 5 users and found out that after carrying out my research or interview, I observed that I got the insights that users order food mostly at night. They want fast checkout. They hate unexpected delivery fees. They prefer saving favorite meals. They use mobile apps more than websites. So this is what I observed, or this is what I got from my research or interview. So I want to create my persona now. So let's go. Let me share this screen. So I believe you guys can see my change in screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry, this is what I wanted to share instead. Yeah. So this is a FigJam board. This FigJam board is found in Figma. Although we're going to look at Figma in details in the course of this training as a design tool. But the first one we're looking at right now is FigJam. FigJam is a sub of Figma. How do you get here, or how do you come here at the end of the day? Once you go to your browser, if you go to your browser, let me stop sharing this. Sorry. You go to your browser, Chrome browser or any browser you're using. If you search on Figma, just type in Figma. Once you type it in, the first thing you see is the design tool. Then you log in. If you have an account before you log in, if you don't have an account, you sign up. So me, I already have an account. So if I click on it, it takes me directly to just my workspace. But if you don't have an account, you can just follow the regular. It's just like signing up on anything that you usually sign up on any platform in this life. Just follow the sign up process. Sign up with Google, because that is what they will show you there. You can sign up with your Google account. It's way more easier, because if you are logged on any browser or any device, you can just use your Google account to sign in on the platform. So I'm already signed in. So when I click on it, it takes me here. You can see my name here. I'm signed in using my email address. So you can just use your normal Google address that you're signed in on your device to sign in. So when you are done with the whole signing in process, it takes you to this interface. This is where it takes you to at the end of the day. So it takes you to this interface. So most times, if you open your own, you might see it empty because you've probably not put anything in there. So what we're going to look at right now is just FigJam. Another day, we're going to come back and look at how the entire interface works and everything. So where is FigJam? You have different sub tools in Figma that you can make use of right now. So the reference I'm going to go to right now is FigJam. So you can see FigJam here is at this top part here. So once you click on it, it opens a new interface, or a new FigJam interface. So FigJam is used for most collaboration processes, most UX processes. Probably it's just like a digital workspace that you can actually document things, write things down, put things down. That's just how FigJam works. It's like a digital workspace where you can use to document your ideas, your findings, your research, everything. You can do it on here. That's just how FigJam works. So this is it. So once you click on it, it takes you to a plain whiteboard. And in that plain whiteboard, you can see different tools to make use of. You can see your marker, sticky notes. Once you tap on it, like what it's all about pops up. It shows square, text, section, table, stamp, comments, actions, templates. So you can see templates here. If you want to create anything, here you can see the templates to make use of. You can see stickers if you want to put stickers, widgets, plugins, and many more. You can go to your templates and then look for a particular template for whatever you want to create. What I want to create right now is a user persona using FigJam. So you can impute a template at the end of the day. You can add a template. So I'm going to go back to this particular slide because this is what I want to make use of. So this is a template. User persona template. So this is a template. You can do this thing from scratch if you want to do it. If you want to do it from scratch, you can do it. All you have to do is select a frame or select a shape. Probably you can select your square. Once you select your square now, you see your plus sign. You're seeing this plus sign. If you're on your laptop, you can right click and then drag it as long as you want to drag it, open it, and then impute whatever you want to impute. So you can as well still do this from scratch. You can come again, add arrow if you want to add sorry, I don't even add arrow. I don't know why I'm adding that. If you want to add a certain shape, you can come. If you want to add sticky notes, you can come, tap on the sticky notes, add it here. You see you've added your sticky notes. Type anything. You can type anything at the end of the day. If you want to use a write-up, you can come here with your pen. Like I said, it's just like a digital workspace where you get to like save ideas and all of those stuff. Sorry. So you can use your marker to write anything you want to write and all of that. So you can create it from scratch. But right now I'm using a template to use and explain what I want to explain. So this is a template we have already of a user persona. You have your personal information. Remember I said user personas are fictional. When you use the word fictional, it means that they are not totally real. Because you can carry out a quantitative research and get 100 responses from people. It doesn't mean you have to create 100 user personas. It doesn't mean you have to create one persona each. What you can do is that in that 100 response, I'm just using 100 for example, it might be less than 100. In that 100 response you get from individuals, you can actually divide it or break it down. Maybe 20 persons gave or are expressing similar pain points. You categorize it into one persona. That is why it's called fictional. Another 10 or another 30 responses you got are experiencing similar pain points, or they have similar goals, or they have similar behavior. Similar goals in the sense that, okay, maybe 30% of the response you got are students. The other 40% are 9-to-5 workers. The other 50% are probably recent graduates at the end of the day. So I don't know if you guys get what I'm trying to say. So you categorize them. You don't create personas for each of those responses. That is why it's called fiction. So at the end of the day, you can add the name. So let me go back to this thing I had here. So we're going to be switching between shared tab. So the section 1 I have here is basic info. Name, Sarah Johnson, age 27, occupation, marketing executive, location, Lagos. So you can go back to your persona and then input all of that. So you can edit it. You can come here, type. You can type this or change it to the name. It doesn't mean it has to be one person's name or one particular name you got from your persona. You can just impute anything. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's fictional character. The main goal or the main aim of your persona is to get these pain points, goals, behavior, and the rest. These particular names or this thing does not matter. At the end of the day, what matters there is probably the age range, because you can actually have age range. So you have age, occupation. Okay, the occupation I had there was marketing executive. So you can change that. Please take note, because you are still going to carry out an assignment that contains this. Let me just be giving you a heads up for your next assignment. It's going to be to create a user persona from the research I said in the previous assignment. That's how the flow is. So what else again? Okay, yeah, 27. So I think I'm going to delete all these ones because I don't have them in my this thing, in the details I have here. Yes, it's only location. So we have a tip here. A tip is that you can use relatable names to make it feel real. Although they are fictional characters, it doesn't mean if you carried out research and you got 100 response, out of that 100 response, you can create only like 2 personas or 3. or let me say at most 5 persona at the end of the day. And those 5 persona, like I've said, it doesn't mean the 5 of them are individual characters at the end of the day or responses you got from those people you did your research on. They are fictional characters at the end of the day. So you can use relatable names to make it feel real. So this the main thing I want to look at in this persona is this particular part. So you have your goals. What is this category of audience or these persons? I don't want to just say one person because we're not focusing on one person. We did our research on a lot of people. Okay, from here it showed that we interviewed 5 users and this is what they got. And I'm creating just one persona, but I interviewed 5 people. So these were the insights I got. So what's the goal? Order food quickly after work, avoid cooking on busy days, find affordable meal options. So these were some collective goals that were observed. So I'll come here to this my persona. Okay, I think what I should just do instead, that is what I would have done. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to come to this slide. Copy it and paste here. Yeah, thank you. Yes, so we can be looking at it side by side. That was what I would have done. So you have your goals, order food quickly after work. So I'm going to come and write it here. I think there were behavior. Yes, okay, there are behavior, there are wants and needs. So I'm just going to put everything I have here for my goals to pain points to behavior. I'm going to write them into section by section. So the first one we have here is behavior. So this template is already even giving you this thing. It's already giving you an understanding of whatever you're supposed to do here. What behavior does he have, including what he is doing right now, solutions to his problem, what are the reasons for using our products. So that's like, it's already giving you an explanation of what behavior is supposed to be about. So the first behavior we have here, use mobile apps daily, order food 3 to 4 times a week. So I'm going to start with the goals before I look into the behavior. So I'm just going to put goals. So what's his goal? The first goal, or what is her goal? I used a female person. Order food quickly after work. So I'm going to write it down here. So I'm going to write it down. What's the next? Okay, there are 3 I wrote here. Avoid cooking on busy days. So I'm going to write it again. The next one I'm going to write, find affordable meal option. I'm going to write it here again. Find affordable meal option. So these are the user or target user goals. So pain points. So I can probably delete all these SSCs. Or I can as well come down and put the pain points here. Yeah, so the next one I want to look at is pain points. So for my research or for my insights, I observed that my user is experiencing some particular pains or some particular frustration. So you can either have pain points or frustrations. They literally have similar interpretations at the end of the day. So what are the pain points I observed for my research or for my insights or for my findings? All of them. Too many steps during checkout, hidden delivery charges, slow app performance. So these pain points are where most of your design decision comes from, because at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is solve your user's problem. solve prefer solution to the frustration your user is experiencing. That's what you're doing. Anything you're building in this life, you're just trying to solve problem, prefer solution, solve problem. So pain points, too many steps. I'm just going to write one so as to save time. I'm not going to type everything. Too many steps during checkouts. So that's one of the pain points my user is experiencing. There are other two you can type. The next one you can look at is behavior. So what is the behavior of my user? Uses mobile apps daily, order food 3 to 4 times a week, prefer apps with saved preferences. So you can have various behavioral patterns from various users, but at the end of the day, they are just like, most of their behaviors are similar depending on the category of users you ask or something like that. You might ask, you might not get this behavior now that order food 3 to 4 times a week. If you carried out a user research on a particular audience, let me say, what audience will I use now? If you say, okay, probably you carried out user research on probably married people or a mother or something like that, you might not actually get this behavioral pattern because she's not ordering food 3 to 4 times a week. She's either cooking her food. So you might get this behavioral pattern. Probably maybe you carried out your research with probably people that are 9 to 5 hours or students, yes, or something like that, that barely doesn't have time to cook and all of that. So these are not, I'm just trying to say that most of the responses you get are not guesswork. They are actually responses when you carry out your research based on some target audience or some target users at the end of the day. So your behavior, you write it down. Uses mobile apps daily, order food 3 to 4 times a week. So there's another one there, prefer apps with safe preferences. I'm not going to write that. I'm going to go back to my this thing. So let me share this tab instead. So we have our behavior. I think that was the last one. Then a quote. So this is just a line of quotes I wrote down that I said I was going to add to the persona. Oh, sorry, I can't copy from here. I just want to order food quickly without stress after a long day. Probably that was one of like the key response I took notes from the interview. Yeah, from the interview I carried out at the end of the day that my user actually wants. So I can come and just write it somewhere here as a keynote or as a key point to actually take note of why designing. Then one other thing I'm going to add to my persona, which is not currently here, is actually solution. That's one thing I'm going to add to because my user has a pain point. And then based on the pain points that my user is experiencing, I'm going to profile ways or steps or processes that if I'm building a product, this solution, these processes or this solution can actually help my user. Okay, I think that's what I wrote here. Let me share this tab instead. How does this persona affect our design? I'm going to connect this persona to my design. That was just the simple explanation of what I was trying to say. I'm going to connect the pain points, the goals, the frustration of what I observed to the product I'm trying to build. Simple checkout, fewer steps. I think there was a pain point of when the user said so many steps during checkout. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to make this checkout, simple checkout, fewer steps. Right now, I'm just writing, it's just in writing. I've not said, okay, when I'm designing this page, when you click on checkout, it's going to go for this one. I'm just writing a brief solution that I can offer. The next one is clear pricing, no hidden fees. I think one of the pain points of my user, you can say I'm comparing. One of the pain points of my user was hidden delivery charges. Most times they've ordered their food and finished, and it's when the food gets to them, they realize they're supposed to pay a delivery fee of so and so amount, and it was not shown initially on the platform. So clear pricing, you see everything there. Then fast UI, I think one of the pain points was slow app performance. So I'm going to make sure the UI is fast and optimized for performance. So these are I'm supposed to still write this in my design. So I'm going to come here, this particular part that you have your pain points. I think the pain points were just 3. So I'll move this here. Then I'm just going to duplicate this, put it down. Okay, I'm not even showing the particular distance. Yes, yeah. So this was the particular part I wrote my pain points. So I just duplicated this right up. I pressed Ctrl D on my keyboard, duplicated the right up, bring it down. So I'm just going to write solution or solutions. And then the solutions I'm going to write are these connecting persona to design. I wrote here simple checkouts, clear pricing, fast UI. So I'm just going to be writing them one by one. Simple checkout. So when I'm making any design decision on my application or on my product at the end of the day, I can make reference to this my persona, said this is one thing that is supposed to enhance my design decision at the end of the day. Simple checkouts. So I can just come, put all of them here. Yeah, so I can come, write it here, simple checkout, write the other one, clear pricing. So I just know that, okay, yes, for each pain point, I'm actually going to use this particular solutions in coming up with my design decision. So that's one of a persona. Then there's another template here, although this template is more broad, or it has a lot of things. So you can see, you can add your name, bio, then personality. This personality is still relates to the behavior. The only way you can add all these things is if when you are carrying out your research, you ask the question. But if fine, you did not ask your question on, are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Are you a creative? Are you a busy person? You don't need to add them. But fine, if when you are carrying out your research, you ask the question, you got responses and feedback, you can add them. If not, your interests. What is the person's interest? From your research, probably you understood what the person's interest is, influences, goals, pain points. Okay, yeah, see pain points and frustration. Remember I said pain points, frustrations, they are all used the same, or they are all the same. Motivation, what motivates the person, needs and expectation. So what does the person expect, or what does the person want to see? Or from your pain points at the end of the day, you can still come up with needs and expectation, like from what the person is experiencing as a frustration or as a problem, you can actually come up with an expectation of what the person would want to see at the end of the day. So that's that for that. I've been talking since. It's time for you guys to talk to me. Like I said, this is a class, this is not a seminar. I feel like I've been talking too much since. So it's now time for people to talk to me. I say people should talk to me. You are just reacting. Ha. That's all I'm saying, just reaction. I said talk to me. I did not say clap for me or react after the class, please. Like I said, it's okay. Yes, David, your hands is up. Please go ahead. David, Ayo,
It's
go
not a
ahead.
learning process, and this is a
Sorry, David, can you hear me?
section in the process. So I think, yeah, can you hear me?
Hello, can you guys hear me? Or is it, I don't know if it's on
Can
my
you hear
own
me?
end. David, I did not clearly hear. Yeah, can you come again? Yes, I
Yes,
can
I
hear
can
you
hear
now.
you.
So
Can you
just
hear
come
me?
again. Yes, I can hear you. Come again with what you were saying. Come, David, please go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I
Hello?
can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, yes, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Am I audible? Okay, okay. I said it was well elaborated, and you followed the whole process. So I believe most of us really understood what you said and how you followed the whole process based on the goals, uh the different sections, the behavior, and everything that was accumulated during the qualitative interview. So yeah, for me, I understood it though. I just wanted to
Okay.
put that out.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for that, David. So, somebody else. Yeah, Mohammed Sahid. Okay, I think Mohammed, go ahead and ask your question. Mohammed, can you hear me? Please go ahead and ask your question. Okay, Mohammed is not asking. Sahid, please go ahead and ask your own.
All right, thank you. Um, Thank you for the presentation. My question here is, as a beginner starting in this UI UX, between this Figma and FigJam and this Google Stitch.
Yeah. Said, are you with me? Said, are you with me?
Which
Okay.
one should a beginner go for?
So you're asking as a beginner, which two should they make use of?
That's the question.
Between Figma, FigJam, and yeah, so you're going to make use of all of them. Like I said, FigJam is found inside Figma. If you don't have a Figma account or if you don't have access to Figma, you can make use of FigJam. And we're going to look into Figma as detail. That is like our major design tool that we're going to use in the course of this training. We are just looking at this part of it just for the case of me explaining this user persona. So FigJam and Figma, they're like one tool. They are one software at the end of the day. Sadiq, please, can you ask your question?
Good evening,
Hello,
ma'am.
can you guys hear me?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Yeah, I appreciate NITDA and the organizers of this program. My question goes thus: is it only Figma that we can use to create um the user persona?
No, you can make use of Miro. It's not only Figma. You can make use of Miro. There's a software called Miro that you can actually make use of. I'm going to show you guys that, or I'm meant to show you guys that. I just wanted you guys to ask your question because I feel like I've just been talking, sing. FigJam is not the only one, but is the most collaborative software or the most popular software. I think the only two that I can say right now that you can make use of to create this user persona is Miro, like the software that you can make use of. Mohammed Uba, please ask your question. Martin Samuel, please ask your question.
Okay, good evening, Ma. Thank you
Good
for the
evening.
opportunity to ask my question. So first of all, I wanted to ask because while we talked about the FigJam,
Yes.
the template that we use to assign the various distance, is it an already made template or we are the ones that went to create the template and design
No,
it the way it was?
no, the one I used right now was an already made template. I did not create it from scratch.
Okay, an already made template. Okay,
Yes.
and then because from the research you did, the one you used was I think a qualitative research. In the case of a quantitative research, like the one like in a previous said assignment, quantitative or qualitative. In the case of quantitative, I believe the response and the way we feel it would be different.
No, it won't be different. You're actually still getting the same response. It's just for you to translate the data you get into actionable insights at the end of the day. Like for example, now what I did here was, let me share this tab to explain. Your response is not any much difference. Like I said from the interview, this was the insight I got, or this was the understanding I got. Users order food mostly at night. They want fast checkouts. They hate unexpected deliveries and the rest. So from your research at the end of the day, if it's quantitative research you are doing, from the data you get, you can say, okay, you got 65% of people actually like this, the other 30%, this 65% does this or does that. So you can still use it again to still draft your insights and still create your persona. So there is no much difference. Sorry, why is
So
this thing moving? Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
So, in qualitative is more of a comprehensive because like 75% means like out of the 5 people we asked, 75% give these reports and maybe 65 give these reports. If we're creating a persona, are we going to create, it won't be individual, will it be individual?
No, I made mention of it earlier that personas are not individuals. Like, for example, I did this interview on 5 people, but I'm not
Okay,
creating this persona for 5 persons each. Oh, this was just a
okay,
collective response that I'm putting. That is why I made mention of it that personas are fictional characters. They are not they are not individual
yeah,
representations. They
I'm
are
aware.
grouped representations of the findings you got at the end of the day. We are just
Okay,
adding name, age to give it like a realistic feel.
okay, no problem. Thank you very much, man. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
You're welcome. Dr. Hamza. Yeah, Dr. Hamza, can you ask your question?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. I want to say a big thank you to NITDA, our tutor, and everyone that's been with us so far. I will dive into my question quite quickly. Please, I don't know. I'm trying to actually like strike a balance. There's this dashboard that was given to us by the B.O.F. Hello?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you.
So I don't know. Like I tried checking, although some of the courses are not available, like there's no like file in some of them. I tried to download some of the PDFs and it wasn't working. But I just want to know, like, based on we're having classes now on Google Meet, and then there's also
Yes.
an already prepared course there. Like, how do we strike a balance between the both, or how are you supposed to actually navigate both of them? That's what I want to confirm. Sorry, please.
Okay. I think the materials that are there are resources that you're supposed to use to learn on your own, probably before your next class, before probably because most of the classes from next week are going to be happening once a week. So before your next class, those are resources or materials that you're supposed to look into to learn, have more understanding apart from what is just being taught in the live classes. I don't know if I answered the question you had, Hamza.
Yeah. Yeah, you actually did, I think. So we're supposed to actually use them as a kind of guide or prepare ourselves for
Yes,
classes.
yes, a
Yeah,
guide.
but
Prepare yourself for the next class, have an understanding of the previous class, just like that.
what about the materials that we cannot access actually over there?
Okay, I think I will look into that from the technical team.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, is it the materials you are referring to? Is it relating to the 3 courses you are doing in this program, or it's another course?
It's actually related to it because some of them you see the video and then you try to click on it, it's like pops up like as if there's no video there. Then some PDFs it will just come up and then you can't download it. I don't know actually if it's because I'm using Chrome or maybe there's a problem, but maybe if you check it, you get to find out the issue I'm facing actually. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, no problem. I will relate with the technical team and get back to you on that. Thank you. I think one more person has a question. Promzi, can you ask your question? Okay, hand is not up anymore. Mohammed Uba, can you ask your question?
Yeah, yes, ma. Actually, it's not. Uh, I want to ask, as somebody mentioned in the comment section, that the Figma are giving
Uba, your
us this free
background
trial.
is noisy, or I can barely hear what you are saying.
So what I'm saying is this. So as somebody made mention in the comment section that Figma just only give only free trial. So
Oh,
as
okay.
yes about it. As usual, leader used to give us some coupon that we can use Figma for period of time when there is practical, or are we the one that we subscribe for the Figma at this moment? That's what I want to ask.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for bringing my notice to that. I did not even see that in the chat box. FigJam only gave 3 trials. We have to pay. No, Roots and Uber, you don't have to pay for Figma to use it, or for FigJam. They have free trial, and you are opening the wrong part of Figma. That is why you are seeing a 3 trial present. So once you go to your Figma, let me share my tab so I can, let me go back. You sign up, you sign in, and it takes you to this particular part. Work with your drafts. So you can work with your draft. Your draft has as many, you can open as many pages, as many Figma file, design file, slide, whatever you want to open with your draft. Where you see 3 free trial is when you are going to your, let me be sure, is when you are going to your team projects. Yes, is when you go to your team projects that you have limited pages you can actually open. And for now, I don't think you need to go to your team project. The only advantage with your team project is if you are working with more than 2 people or 3 people on a particular project, you can share it with them, and then they have access to design or to edit on that particular file. But you don't need that. You can still be doing whatever you want to do with your draft. You can see most of the this thing I have open ESF is with my draft, is not on my team project. So with this draft, you can open, sorry guys, with this draft, you can open as many files as you want. It's not limited to opening just 3 files. Thank you. So any other question? Okay, I think some people drop question in the chat box. I don't know if you are shy to ask. Okay, you say Figma is a bit confusing. Please don't allow that to stress yourself. Like I said, it's just FigJam we looked at today. We are still going to look at Figma in detail and how you can navigate it. I just opened FigJam to show you guys how to create user persona. And yes, there was someone that asked if there's another this thing you can use. Yes, there's another site, and I'm going to go to that now. Okay, I'm not seeing any other question here. Oh, Philip, you asked the question: can personas unintentionally stereotype users instead of representing them accurately? stereotype. What do you mean by what stereotype again, please? No. My answer is no. Intentionally or unintentionally, you are not stereotyping anybody here, please. You are just getting insights. At what point does a persona become too generalized to be useful in actual design decision making? I don't understand this question, Philip. If you can unmute your mic and let's have a conversation, please do. Too generalized. Why will a persona be too generalized in your design decision making? Probably, I don't know. Probably the process, the things you put there are generalized. So that is why when you are making a persona, you are not guessing or you are not making your user persona based on just general thing. You are making your persona from your research you carried out. So that's why I said that you're making your user persona from your research you carried out, from the findings you got, from the insights you got at the end of the day. So I don't know if you can unmute your mic and explain your question better. That would be good. Oh, you said question answer. That's fine. So thank you all so much. If there's any other question, please ask. If there's none, let's move on to, I think the next thing on this slide should be, yeah, your assignment. Assignment 5. Create a user persona. Sorry, my distance is covering. Yeah, create a user persona from the research you carried out using FigJam. Oh, using FigJam. Yes. So from the research I made mention in assignment 2, or sorry, assignment 4 rather. You create a persona for it. That's assignment 5. So the details on when, there is no, I'm not right now on this call, I'm not giving any timeline of when the assignment should be submitted, but I think I'm going to give that when we have left the call, or by tomorrow I'm going to give the time frame of when the assignment should be submitted. But I made mention of the assignment theory you still have from now till on Friday, because we are going to okay, let me just save that. But you still have from now to on Friday to submit your assignment theory. After that, I'm not going to be accepting any assignment theory again. And yes, the assignments are going to be reviewed and looked into. So does anybody have any question? If not, I'm going to go to my browser and I'm going to search for Miro to actually explain the other interface you can use for your design. Oh, it's even on my distance self. There was no need for me to go there. It's pinned on my distance. Miro, M-I-R-O. This is it. M-I-R-O. M-I-R-O. Yeah. I think I am signed in on here already. So it's great for brainstorming, like just like your FigJam, where you can actually brainstorm, write ideas and all of that. You can actually use your Miro for that. It's been long I opened this because I just stick with Figma to do all the work. So where is there? Yeah. So you can go through the normal login process. I'm supposed to be able to use my Google account to sign in because I already have an account there with them. Okay, yeah. So while this is going on, if you have any other question, especially as regarding the assignment, please do well to ask. Yes, please, Roots, ask your question.
Okay, good evening, ma.
Good
Please,
evening.
regarding the assignment, I don't really understand it. Can you explain more about it?
Okay,
Okay.
let me go back to, I think the first assignment for this class was this. Do you understand this one? Or I should just explain this too?
Please explain the two.
Okay, so I said you should carry out a user research. I've already explained what user research is and all of that. So I say carry out a user research on a fintech or edutech. Fintech is a financial technology application. Edutech is an education technology application, mobile application. So carry out a research. You want to build a fintech mobile app. You want to build an edutech mobile app. Carry out a research. I not say go and carry out research on an already existing one. No, like the assignment I gave on laws of UX, I gave a Nairaland website that I said carry out a research on and all of that and like compare with laws of UX. But this time around, I'm not giving you anyone, and I not say go and carry out on already existing one. You're starting from scratch. So do a research, write 5 or more open-ended interview questions. It can be 5, it can be more. Ask at least 5 persons, at least. If you are doing qualitative, this is it. If you are using qualitative research, at least 5 or more persons. If you are doing quantitative, if you create a form or a survey and you send it out, don't tell me it's only 5 people you want to ask, because not only five people that will give you a response to that thing. Extract your insights from it. Then this can be done either quantitative or qualitative research, or you can decide to use the both. If you want to use the both, fine. If you want to use only one, you can use only one. So that was the first assignment. Then the second assignment was create a user persona from the research you carried out using FigJam. So once you are done carrying out your research, create a user persona from it at the end of the day. So for those of you that want to do quantitative research, or wait, I think I should even just say you should do the both instead of or. Yeah, do the both. Do both qualitative research and quantitative research, and then submit your findings. Yes, you are doing both of them, quantitative and qualitative research. Your quantitative research, you can do survey, you can send out questions and all of that. You can even use AI self for your quantitative research. You can ask Cloud or ChatGPT some certain questions, and it will give you responses or feedback. But that's like just based on data on the internet and all of that. So I don't know if you've understood the question to a certain extent. Ruth.
Yes, ma. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So Miro is still taking a lot of time to open for me to share what I have to share. So write that. Is there still any other question? Since there's no question again, I'm going to ask my own question. So based on what I said in my research, or based on what I have explained in research and in persona and all of that. So based on, okay, the last thing I talked about was doing a persona for the fictional character Sarah for a food application. So can someone tell me what's the first thing or was one future you would want to build for Sarah based on the research and the findings we got? Quickly. I think it's already 10 o'clock, so our time is up. So as a designer now, as someone that is a creative or that is actually having that is critically thinking of ways and solutions to come up with things. So what's one future you would build first based on the persona I said, or based on the persona we created together during the call and also the research? Any response? There's no response. I'll start calling people's name.
Go.
Is somebody saying something? This one people are just reacting. Nobody wants to answer.
Okay, and
Okay.
good evening, ma'am. So based on what
Yes, good
you
evening.
the first is the goal.
The what? Sorry, I can't hear you clearly.
The goals of the research.
Yes, I said based on the goals, like what's one future you are going to build if you are building your products at the end of the day? What's one future you are going to implement in it? That's what I'm asking.
Information gotten from the same form. Or are you asking for a typical example?
Yes, that's what I'm asking. A practical instance of a future that you're going to implement or build on.
So based on what you said better UI experience.
Apart from the one I said. Apart from the one I said, any other ideas?
Okay, I think for me, I'll make sure that because from the research we discovered that hidden charges are always there for the users at their cart. So
Mm-hmm.
when I'm
Mm-hmm.
designing, I make sure that the cart display exactly what the user is purchasing without adding any hidden charges at the end of the day. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Does anybody else want to say another thing? Yeah, sorry, Precious.
Hi, ma. Good evening, ma.
Good
So,
evening.
based from the goals, she said she needs something that can be fast. So, if I'm going to create something, I'm going to create something that um it doesn't have so much steps because she's the type that just wants something that she can just click on and be able to order food because
Mm-hmm.
she's usually like back from work and she just wants to quickly order food. So I'm going to create something that just goes straight to the menu and the cash out point.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Precious, for that. I still need more responses because right now we're actually brainstorming for ideas here. It's not just to listing and listing. I need more responses. Yeah, Prom Z, your hands are up. You can go ahead and say what you want to say.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
From the this thing, you I will now create something that the there will not be too much step before uh placing the order. Like the last stage, there will not be too much step.
Okay, so just like two steps and all.
Yes, just few step or just your the cart, then the next stage is payment and you are done with
Okay.
ordering.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So we are going to go back to Miro. So this is one brainstorming software you can make use of. Like I said, it's just like FigJam. You can actually create your personas, do a lot of things here. Templates, it still has templates that you can actually search for and search for things you want. So let me see if there's a template. And you can create templates with AI built in it. So the person that asked that question, I don't know who, I can't remember exactly who that person is, but yes, this is another software you can actually make use of for your brainstorming. And this thing is slow to open. I don't know. I just want to open it so you see how the interface is like. So this is how the workspace is like at the end of the day. Okay, this was the template I selected. So I just searched for it and then this was the template. And the longer I opened this, because like I said, I don't make use of it. So it's still the same thing. You see activation, actions, motivations, pain points. What do I do? What do I do? What's happening? And also this is another software you can use. Then you can still see your tools. Most of all these tools that you saw in FigJam that was on this parts, look at them here. So you can still see your tools, make use of it, you saved. So this, I think at a certain point too, this still has like a paid feature and a free feature. Most of all these softwares, all of them always have a paid and a free feature, especially when it comes to productivity softwares or softwares that you're using to create. They always have like a paid and a free feature. But for, I don't know of Miro because it's been long I opened it, so they might have done some updates and all. But for Figma, what I know of is what I've explained to you guys when it comes to the paid and the free feature. We're still even going to still look into it again in the course of this training. So yeah, that's that for that. And I think the class is going to come to an end now because it's the time is fast spent. So do you have any other question, or if you have any other question rather, or any other answer or any other thing you would like to see, please, all you have to do is drop them in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thanks to NITDA for this opportunity and for this particular training. Please, one thing I would like you to do is drop a feedback or review on the group chat. Please, please, please just drop a feedback, drop a review on the group chat on how this class has been. I know it's not everybody that is attending. That too can still encourage someone to know that, okay, yes, this is actually worth it or worth the time. So as you leave the call, you can just drop a feedback, drop one thing you've learned today, one thing you've learned today, one thing you've been learning from like the last class in UI UX design. Do well to drop it on the group chats. I really appreciate that a lot. So good night, guys, and I will see you in our next class on Friday. If I didn't answer your question, drop them on the group chat. I'll do it to respond. Let's make the group chat interactive, please. It's not only when I want to drag you guys for assignments that you start responding. Thank you so much. Good night.
Night, ma.
Good night.